The first thing is adjusting to living together. Even though we were so in love and we wanted to stay together and be together, adjusting to one another's preferences. For instance, there's a way I want my space to be, there's a way my husband wants his space to be. So adjusting to the fact that you are no more single, you need to you need to blend it. You need to blend. It's not about what you want or what he wants, but about what we want. So how do we want our home to look like? How do we, irrespective of our own personal wish, personal. Second thing is the financial realities. As a single person, that's where you have decision over your money. You make decision, you do things the way you are prompted to do it. You buy things, you do things you just want to do. But now that you are married, it is a whole different ball game. Then you now have to start thinking in aspect of family. Is like two of you involved, not just you alone. So that will also involve you, making decision with your partner, and sometimes you have to delay some gratification to see what is best for the family, and then being more committed, being more responsible. So it's a whole different ball game. So this is the reality that some couples, they don't get to blend in very early. They still, it will take some time for some persons to adjust. So, but it's a thing that brings a lot of issues in marriage. But if you get to handle it early, then it is going to be better for your marriage. The third point is the communication challenge, like communicating with one another, even though we love one another. And I know my husband will not hurt me intentionally, and I will also not hurt him intentionally. There are times where communication is like, you're wondering, was that what I said? That is not what I'm trying to say. That brings us to being intentional about listening to one another, actively listening and trying to know you actually get what the other person is saying. Because there are times whereby your body language is saying something and your heart is another thing you are saying. So communication is one thing that you're going to have to do with. You have to learn the act of communicating, know the language your partner is saying, and be sure you are speaking to them the language they also understand. Because if not, or there are sexual expectations, and most of the time these expectations are from the things we've learned while growing up, the things we've seen mostly on or in films, in movies, what we've read in novels. And then some of us have expectations, but when you get married, you discover that your partner has a, what's it called, they have their own ideology about sex, how they prefer it, when they prefer it. They may not want it as much as you want it, or they are not as interested in it as you are interested in it. There are just different things about it that you are shocked, like, this thing, I thought this was what we were thinking, this is how it is now, so what's happening? So sexual expectations are one of the things that shocked me as a person, as a new wife. I have a video on my channel titled the things, preparing for your first time sex as a virgin, so you can consider watching that. I know it's going to help you to answer some question and navigate some of the things that has to do with planning for sex in marriage. Number 5 is family dynamics, especially when it comes to relating with our in-laws. I relating with my mom-in-law, my father-in-law, and then my sister-in-laws as well, and my husband relating with my own in-law. It's a whole ball game, different from us now. However, the way we relate with these people is going to bounce back on us, because these are people that we've loved long enough before we even meet our partners. So our relation with them is going to go a long way to determine the success or the failure of our marriage. God forbid that the marriage fail. So you need to learn how to deal with your in-laws, what they like, what they don't like, and then setting your boundaries, setting, what to share with them, what not to share with them. It's so important. And one of the things that we adopted as a family is that when we were newly married, I discovered when I'm talking about my mom, and then I'm saying my mom says this, my husband is saying my mom called, and then we're like, excuse me, all this my mommy. Your mommy is my mom is your mom. So we just gave them a name, and so we called them sweet mom, lovely mom. So when I'm referring to sweet mom, he knows which of the mom I'm talking about. And when I say lovely mom, so we don't say my mom. So there is a term we use for my own mom, and there's a term we use for his own mom. So family dynamics is one of the things that, you know, it will shock you, how to relate with them, how to set boundary, where to draw the line. It's a whole ball game, but you know, you learn to love them as you grow. Like I've said earlier on this channel, that don't try to love your in-laws at once. It's these people, you are just meeting them, so be true to who you are, be nice. So give yourself room to learn to love them and to know them. And to, as newly married couple, you are wondering who should do what, because sometimes we assume we know who should do what, but it should be based on what I know how to do best. For instance, don't just say a woman should cook. If it's the man, that this is the person in charge of cleaning, this is the person in charge of running errands, this is the person, no, who knows how to do it best. So in our own house, one thing we do is that we find out who knows how to do this thing best, and the person does it. No, I cook, my husband cleans, he, you know, does a lot of things in the house as well. I also do my own part. And then we also have a rule: if you see something that is not well done and you're the first person that cites that thing, instead of you calling the other person to come and do it, you do it, since you were the one that saw it first. So, you know, sharing household chore can be a challenge, can be a, you know, something that we don't prepare for. You don't even, especially when it comes to one person doing it and they're not feeling appreciated, or they are feeling like the other person is not doing as much as they are doing, then there's a way feelings of resentment can want to set in, and it's not good for the marriage. It is time management. Now that you are married and you have to match your work life with your social life, with family life, at the end of the day you find out there is a little time left for you to actually bond. So sometimes it can be a strain on the relationship because of your, you know, a lot of activities you need to do. So this will come with you prioritizing, compromising where you need to compromise, letting go of some relationship that will not, you know, allow you to have time to deal with your core family. So time management is another dynamics that, you know, it brings shock to the new couple, and then you're wondering, where is our time going to? There's not even time to do this thing. So you just need to learn to prioritize and compromise when you need to do so. Another thing is the loss of independence that will kind of, you know, be a shock to you. You discover that it's like it's like everything about you. There's no more much time for personal thing. It is now more of your family. You now start thinking in terms of two. So when children now start setting in, your freedom is even more restrained. So any decision you want to make is now based on how many people are in the family. You want to put them into consideration. When you are single, you can decide to just travel and just change location and you are gone, and nobody is saying whatever. But when you are married, you can't just pack your family or pack your wife, tell your wife or your husband, say, I just want to go to this place. You have responsibilities, you know, you need to think about that twice. You do something like that. So that when you're married, there is this loss of independence. So you can't just make decisions that affect the family for yourself and just say, that's what we do it. I can't just wake up tomorrow and say, honey, we are relocating from Ibadan, we are going where? Especially when you have children again. So that's one dynamics that comes with being married, that's kind of like a shock. So you discover that, especially if you're a lady, you just have children, you discover that you can't go anywhere without factoring in where your children will be. It's like you are stuck, my dear. That is how it is. So that's how we roll. Hey, the next point, the ninth point, is they said don't enter marriage with expectations. You know, don't enter, let your expectation level be zero. So you just believe the best of the other person, that they will deliver. Don't start expecting them to be this, to be that. You know, they said expectation is the mother of disappointment. So when you are expecting this, expecting that from the other person, you just, you know, there's a way you just get disappointed when they are not able to deliver. So there are some things that your spouse or your partner will not be able to meet, the expectations that they will not meet. They might not meet it at the moment. Let's say that some things some they will not meet at the moment. Maybe in the future they'll be able to meet up with it. So give them time to grow. Some expectations you have, they will never, I said never, they will never be able to meet up to it. So you need to still roll with it. Like, someone will say, accept the things that can change, and accept the things that cannot change. There'll be things about your spouse that you really desire them to change, and they cannot. They cannot. So you just accept it like that. Another thing, which is the last one, is the emotional vulnerability. So in marriage, we get to be vulnerable. When we are happy, you can't hide it. When you are sad, you can't hide it. When you have your highs, your lows, your downs, you cannot hide it, and you can't run away. So in the home, you share everything. Your partner gets to see you when you're down, when you are high. When you go out, you can put up your best attitude, and everybody says, oh, so look at this lady, look at this man. But when you are in the house, you can't hide who you are. The Bible says they are naked and they are not ashamed. So one thing is that even though they see your down moments, they still accept you. You can't run away from them. Marriage is so interesting. They see you at your worst stage. They still accept you, or they should accept you. They should accept you, actually. So those are the things that, were surprising to me as a new wife. And some of these things are not really so surprising again. Yeah. No more shock. It's no more shocking. It's almost 7 years, so but some of these things, they are still, they still have their way of shocking you. I'm wondering, I thought we have passed that stage, and well, we have not passed it. We are still there. So thank you for watching this video. Let me know what your takeaway is. Did you pick one or two things? Is it like that in your own marriage as well? I would like to hear from you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. If you have not yet liked this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so. See you in the next video. Goodbye.